Hi, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your June 6, 2024 new moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. It gets this channel seen by the YouTube algorithm. So, thank you so very much for doing so. So, let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Spirit is chatty. Okay. So let's see here. The new moon is in Gemini. Okay, so is the sun. So very, very strong Gemini energy is forward during this time. So just be aware of this. If you're born on the cusp with Gemini, if you have Gemini in your chart, this will sing to this part of your personality so profoundly. So just be aware. We are crowned here by the Seven of Wands, which really means, Taurus, that we're looking at things that we usually would have fought over, that we would have been like, no, you have to see it this way, you have to see it that way. And we're like, why? Why do I care? Like, that's going to be a big thing during this time. It's like, no, I don't care. And people can really think, oh, you're being unfeeling or you're not really invested in things. It's like, no, it's not a big deal. And that's going to be really important because that's that Gemini energy coming through. Gemini is very much a thinker. And with this new moon in Gemini, we are going to find that, yes, we love change, we love spontaneity, we want new things, new ideas, but we can really have all of that in the mind. And that is really satisfying for a Gemini, for Gemini energy. So just being aware of this, Taurus, is going to be very, very helpful for us. And we're going to want to think about our feelings. We're going to want to, ruminate on things, think, look deeper into things that would usually frustrate us. We're going to be like, well, I'm looking into it a bit more, or I'm looking at it from different angles. And I'm like, not a big deal. Like, not going to give it my energy. Or we know, Taurus, also, that it will really tick somebody off to not respond. Like, they want a response, and we're like, no, not a big deal. Not going to go there with you. And that's going to be a game changer for us as well. So that's really cool. And then brings us to the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is a bit of vampiric energy. So do be mindful about that during this time. It is looking at what's draining us, especially around the home or where we feel comfortable, where we feel secure. And we're going to be looking at kind of like cleaning house. It's like cleaning up the energy within us, around us, and that's going to be a very good thing. We then have the Ace of Swords, which is one of my absolute favorite cards. I think it is so beautiful. We have the Fibonacci sequence with the shell, the beautiful, perfect, mathematical alignment of beauty. Here we have the stars in the cloak. We have the key to unlock, I don't know if you can see this, to unlock the mind right here. And so it's absolutely exquisite. We're getting a gift during this time, during an air sign time represented by the swords in the minor arcana. We are getting a gift of clarity, of insight from God's source spirit. However you see the divine, the universe, we're looking at things differently. Also know that this new moon is conjunct Venus. Taurus, we are ruled by Venus. So this is very important to us. There's going to be certain things that are unlocked during this time that we see from different angles. And it leads us to the Two of Cups. This is healing, beautiful love. There is such a sense of healing and letting certain things go, especially things that would have ticked us off before, where we would have responded in frustration, in anger, in force, in some sort of force. Here we're moving towards the Two of Cups. It's healing, beautiful love. It's balance. It's deeper understanding. This is my minor arcana Lover's card, which represents Gemini, Taurus. And it moves us then to the Magician. We are stepping into our magic. We are definitely taking this gift of the Ace of Swords. The Magician always takes all the gifts that come their way. And we are going to see ourselves embracing our magic, like why we're here on this earth, not why anybody else is here. We're going to be looking at things and we're going to be seeing the beauty and the wonder and the skill, but not that I have to have all that skill. It's like, I'm going to see this, connect with this, and then just be happy that it's out in the world. And that's a very liberating, beautiful place to be. It moves us then to the Page of Cups. This is water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Now, during this time, the planets that are going to be, the signs that are going to be most affected are the mutable signs. And so this is Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. If you have this energy in your chart, especially Pisces energy coming through for a water sign, if you have this energy in your life, just be mindful that you're going to be learning a lot of lessons. It's kind of like insight that's going to come to you from the most like kind of bizarre ways forward, very Alice in Wonderland sort of vibes. Now, this is also from the fish talking to her in the teacup, but there's going to be this sense of like the most magnificent insights come your way here during this time, Taurus. It moves us then to the Three of Cups. So do be mindful about this. Everything's going along really, really well. This energy is fantastic for us. And then we can feel like we get kind of tripped up. The Three of Cups reverse is really wanting to please or get the attention of or get the validation from people who were supposed to raise their glass to you but couldn't, people who were supposed to celebrate you but couldn't. And it's going to be rather overwhelming. We can spend all our time being like, oh, look at me, accept me, see me. This is going to be a time, Taurus, where we're looking at things and it's like, huh, it's time to walk away, isn't it? It's time to end this farce, this game, isn't it? And that's going to be very important for us. It moves us to strength. So this is tyrant energy. This is somebody in your life who was a tyrant. This is Leo energy. Not saying that Leo has to be a tyrant at all, but reversed, the strength card represents Leo. This is reversed energy. So it's going to be a little bit difficult. You can have a bit of difficult energy with a Leo time frame, July 23rd to August 22nd, but this is might equals right. And this is going to be a time where with the Seven of Wands reversed, we're like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And it never has. And so that's going to be where the energies are different. You're not going to be so much of a team player. With the Three of Pentacles reverse, it's like, no, I got this. Like, I know the game that I'm playing. I know how I want to move forward. And so during this time, you're not really going to be a team player, except that move forward, it's going to be easier. Now, if you're forced to be in group activities, group things during this time, if you can separate things up and be like, okay, this is my task, this is your task, that would be the best for you. But also just be mindful, if you have to work with other people, people are going to try and take what you have done and claim it as their own. So make sure you have things really well recorded during this time. This is for the new moon in Gemini on the 6th of June. So just being reminded of that, just keep everything well recorded, dot your I's, cross your T's. That will be the most beneficial thing you can do for you. And excuse me, I'm going to cough. Okay, just going to take a sip of water. All right. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Now, if you're interested in entering to receive a free reading, put a rose in the comment box below. A person will be chosen at random and announced on Sunday. So good luck to everyone. So let's see here, angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. This is devoted. Oh, and if you're interested in purchasing a private reading, a private personalized meditation, or healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. That way you ensure you get a reading. So here we have devoted. This is going to be a time in our lives, Taurus, where we're looking at things and saying, what am I devoted to? Where do I want to give my energy to? We're really having some sort of big revelations that are coming forward, where it's like, what am I giving my energy to? What am I giving my time to? Why do I need to give my time or my energy to this or to that? And we're going to be saying, what is important to me? Which is Spirit saying, what am I devoted to? What am I devoted to? And how am I showing up for me? It moves us then to our chakra energy, angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Okay, we have two. So we have psychic development and inner child. Inner child is in the upright position. Psychic development is reverse. You went through some sort of psychic blockage when you were little, okay? So during this time, Taurus, yeah. Now, it can be that you could have a child with psychic blockages or something like that, or somebody in your family had this, but I'm seeing this very much, and it came through very, very powerfully as you have blockages from your childhood, from your inner child self that was like, nope, we're not doing that. It spooked you out, or it was overwhelming, or it was feeling too much, and it made things feel too chaotic. During this time, okay, the Gemini new moon is a fantastic time for thinking. It is a fantastic time for looking at our emotions and kind of stepping back from them and just analyzing them like somebody would, like a therapist would, or a doctor would. It's like, I'm just going to analyze this. I'm just going to look at me. I'm curious. Now, this brings with it another set of problems. We can become too analytical. Our heart can be a little bit cold. So just be mindful about this. But this is going to be a time where our inner child self needs to look at our third eye self, the way that we see the world, the way that we intune things, and say, why have I closed this door? And so if we do that meditation, if we take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you, and see yourself as the adult you are now, holding your arms open and letting the child that you once were run into those arms and scooping that kiddo up in the biggest hug. And then once you've given each other this beautiful hug, you hold your inner child's hand and you say, let us look at our angel self, our spirit self, our connection to the universe, to the divine, whatever language feels most comfortable for your inner child to understand. And then say to that inner child, ask that inner child, why did we close the door? You will be surprised at the answer you get. You'll be surprised at what comes forward. Somebody got mommy was always crying. Okay? We close the door. We will be surprised at the answers that come forward. And I would just jot that down, notepad on your phone, on a notepad, on the counter, jot down the message that you are given. And meditate on that while visualizing your third eye and visualizing your psychic development and yourself. Because either you heal from it, you don't ever have to open the door of psychicness, of, sensitivity, of however you call it or see it, or empathicness, or however it is, but to acknowledge it and to see it is going to be huge. That's going to be such a pivotal part of you transforming during this time. Now let's see the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. This is the Two of Pentacles. Be mindful. You're going to think, oh, you know what? Just one more thing on my plate. Just one more thing to get done. I got this. I got this. I got this. It's going to be too much. It's already too much. And we're going to think, oh, the way I can combat being overwhelmed is by adding more things for me to do. Things that could be fun. Like, oh, I want to go to this. I want to do that. I want to do the other thing. And so we're just piling up on our plate, and it can become overwhelming. So do be mindful about that. And it's going to be very easy during this time. Now, again, this new moon is conjunct Venus. We are ruled by Venus, so do be aware of that, Taurus. Okay, because this is adding a softer, more loving energy to everything. It's smoothing out the edges, which is absolutely beautiful. Now, again, we do want spontaneity. A new moon in Gemini brings that energy, but we're also setting our intentions for the next 6 months. It's not only just I'm setting my intention in this new moon, and then 15 days later, I will see that intention blossom forward in the full moon. It's from Gemini new moon to Gemini full moon. So it's the intention for the rest of the year, which is wild, which is absolutely wild. But it's the intention for the rest of the year, for the rest of 2024. How do you want to see things transpire, move forward, unfold? How do you want things to be in our lives? And during this time, during this moon, one of the hardest things is to say, how do I lead with my heart? How do I let what I love move me forward? And that is going to be very, 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 very important. Okay? We want to make sure that a new moon in Gemini, and just also being in a Gemini time period, doesn't bring a cold heart, a very analytical way of looking at things, which seems absolutely in contrast with the flighty party girl, party boy mentality of, party person mentality of Gemini energy that we see written and that we hear about. But it's very interesting. It's like we can have a good time, but then once it gets real, I got to cut and run. So just be mindful about this during this time, because Taurus, that's not really our way of handling things or our way of seeing things, but that's okay. It's okay. It can be fun to be in this energy. Now, in the Sabian symbolism, the moon in Gemini is the head of the robust youth, I can read, youth changing into the mature thinker. And this is going to be the time where we see ourselves moving from being rather reactionary to things to thinking things through, to saying, okay, well, follow it to its natural conclusion. Follow it to its natural conclusion. It's kind of like when you're taught to ask questions. It's like, well, follow it forward. Where would it go? Don't assume you already have the answer. That's going to be really important for us. Again, we're looking at things with the Seven of Wands reverse, and it's like, I'm not fighting over that. That's not getting my energy. That's not stealing my time. Your time is precious. You are precious. And you're really seeing that and you're really understanding that, Taurus. And that is very powerful and very beautiful for you. With the Four of Pentacles, there is vampiric energy. It's from the Three of Cups, from people who are supposed to celebrate you, who are supposed to fill your house, who are supposed to fill your life, and they couldn't. It could be a whole bunch of people. It could be one person in particular who really kind of just couldn't. And their inability to be able to show up caused a lot of heartbreak. We tend to think, oh, if it's not on this grandiose scale, if it's not horrific, then it doesn't count. It still counts even if it's smaller. The Four of Pentacles, again, with vampiric energy, it's slowly being drained. It's kind of like having a little leak in the hose and you're going to water something, right? And it's like a little leak leaks out slowly. It ruins where it's leaking, but also you don't have the right pressure, the right water pressure when you're going to do something that you would have if that leak wasn't there. And so during this time, like you haven't noticed, slowly that leak has been getting bigger. Now you're noticing and you're saying, you know what? No, not for me. I need to change this. I need to get a new hose. I need to set this up differently. And with the Ace of Swords, we are going to see during this time, Taurus, that there's knowledge, there's insight, there's understanding coming forward like we hadn't seen before, like we didn't think we were worthy of. And there's an unlocking of the mind. There's a sense of, oh, this is curious. Oh, this is beautiful. Let me explore. Let me see what's there. What's there? How do I? And that's going to be a very big deal for us as well. Questions during this time in a Gemini, anything is huge. We love questions. And so during this time, Taurus, we are going to be embracing questions. Write down your questions. Look at the things that you are curious about. It's going to tell you a lot about you. And it's also going to tell you how you need to build, how you need to work things and puzzle things out as you move forward. This is a time of asking really, really good questions. And because you have the Ace of Swords, it's even better questions. It's finding even better answers. It's looking at things even more profoundly. And it brings us to the Two of Cups. It brings us to a place of healing, beautiful love. It brings us to a place of balance, of greater understanding, of looking at things, of embracing the sacred feminine, the sacred masculine, looking at ourselves and saying, I don't have to be all one way or all the other way. There's nuance, there's brilliance, there's tenacity here, there's beauty here, there's power here, there's me. And as we see that, we step into the magician. We are standing before the altar of our existence, and as above, so below, as we think it, so it becomes. And as we think it, with a new moon in Gemini, so it becomes rather quickly around us, moving at the speed of thought, at the speed of questions. And we're going to be looking at our tenacity, yes, but also at our inquisitiveness, at our prosperity, our value, what we value as much as money comes forward during this time. What do I want? Becomes a big question, not what is expected of me, but what do I want? It's not even kind of even being concerned with everything else. Like, yes, we have the people that we are responsible to, but it's not being concerned with what the rest of the world will think. It's like, okay, well, how do I want to move forward for me? Where do I want to be? What is powerful for me? Where is it that I stand? And what is it that I stand for? And it brings us then to the Page of Cups that lets us be a student of our heart. That lets us connect with that inner child energy that comes through at the heart chakra so lovingly, so beautifully, so profoundly. And we're going to be finding inspiration from the most unlikely of places. It's like Alice falling down the rabbit hole and following a rabbit and meeting a hare and then a Mad Hatter and a caterpillar and a cat. And it's like all these extraordinary things guide us forward in ways that we hadn't imagined. And yes, it could be from a dream, but it's also going to be from our psyche coming forward. And if we're able to ask the questions and connect with our heart and open up to what we love, we set ourselves on a path that is just astounding. It is absolutely astounding. We also have to be students of our heart. And by being students of our heart, it's embracing our heart like a child does, with love and openness. And I just love everything and everyone, and everything is great. And rainbows and butterflies and unicorns and, and dinosaurs. It's all so cool. It's all so wonderful. It moves us then to the Three of Cups, which shatters that brilliant, naive, everything is magnificent energy of childhood. And it's the person that couldn't protect you. It's the person that couldn't stand by you. It's the person that couldn't love you. It's the person that couldn't see you. And it could be a parent, it could be a guardian, it could be a friend, it could be a lover as you got older and you thought, oh my gosh, I've met the love of my life and this is perfect. And it happened so young and I have everything all set up. And then it fell apart. It doesn't matter how the Three of Cups comes in, it always comes in. And with the Three of Cups, we tend to blame ourselves. If only I was enough, because they play off that vampiric energy that already set root in our home, in ourself, in our soul, because our soul is housed in our body. And then we can get rather strict, rather tyranty, yeah, there we go, with ourselves. It has to be just like this, it has to be just like that. We can also have a hard time letting ourselves shine, which the magician natural inclination is to say, I'm here, you're welcome, I'm here. And then with the strength card reverse, it's like, prove it. Prove that you're worthy of being here. Prove that you're worthy of even caring that you show up. Prove it. And that energy can be really hard because it's like, well, I'm supposed to prove the essence of myself. I'm supposed to prove the value of my soul. Like, what the heck is that? So do be aware of that during this time, Taurus. With the Three of Pentacles, again, not the biggest team player during this time. Just be aware of it. We kind of want to go and adventure on our own, seek on our own, discover on our own, ask questions, dive deeper. That's going to be a lot more comfortable for us. So if we have to work in groups, just be mindful that people can take your ideas, can take your questions, can take things that you are working on. And because they're not going to be so in their own head, you tend to be a bit in your own head, especially during this time leading up to this moon, during this moon. They can take these things and present them and be like, aren't these great questions? And people are going to be blown away by the depth of your mind or like what you're seeking after or what you're looking for. And if not blown away, it's like, well, that is a good question. Or, oh, wow, those three aren't, but that one right there, wow, what can we do with that? How can we move that forward? So just be aware. It's not hoarding our information and making ourselves secretive, but it's also saying during this time, kind of timestamp things, mark things as yours. Have a bit of a paper trail for yourself. Our subconscious spirit message is confidence. During this time, as we embrace what we're devoted to, as we really start to see ourselves, we can become very confident and we can embrace our confidence. It moves us then to our chakra energy, which is again the heart chakra coming through in the upright position and saying play. We as human beings, we do not play if we don't feel safe. And so embracing play, embracing laughter, embracing joy, embracing the heart chakra is going to be very powerful for us. And making sure that we take time for this, especially during this new moon, especially during Gemini season, play is so important. It moves us then to our energy to be mindful of. I laugh because it's the Lovers, which is Gemini energy. Be mindful during this time, we can mistake what we love after what we're lusting after. And that is also a big lesson for Geminis in general. Like, don't mistake what you love, which is a pivotal part of what your soul is created for and why you're here on this earthly plane. Don't mistake what you love and what you're lusting after, what you think you should be acquiring, what you think you should be a part of, what you think you should be doing. They're not going to be the same. And we're going to learn that kind of the hard way because that's the way the lesson is taught. It brings us then to the Hangman. We're seeing things very, very differently. It's also going to be a bit uncomfortable, right? The Hangman hanging upside down by one foot, that's not comfortable. Like, that's not something you want to do for a prolonged period of time. And we're going to see that. We're going to be like, it's different, right? But just because it's different doesn't mean it's wrong. We're going to be looking at things differently. We're going to be looking at ourselves differently. We're going to be in a situation that forces us to see things differently. And it's going to be uncomfortable for us. It's going to have us questioning ourselves. It's going to have us looking at things in a very intense way. Okay. All right, Taurus. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. And don't forget that this meditation and healing is accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless. Bye.